And from this West Michigan studio, information goes worldwide. You'll meet some local podcast pioneers. The internet's global impact grows every day, and so does the technology that goes with it.
Well, think about it. Just 10 years ago, websites were just coming out, and email was a brand new communication tool. But one Battle Creek man was on the cutting edge back then, and he still is. And News 3's Alicia Smith joins us with the story.
Well, Judy, Mark, Tim Robertson was picking his domain name back when FedEx.com and GM.com were still available for the taking, so that should tell you something. But he wanted to create his own signature site, and he did it 10 years ago. MyMac.com. It helps people get the most out of their Macintosh or commuting experience, and now he's hoping to reach even more people with the newest internet outlet, podcasting, right from Battle Creek.
MyMac.com podcast number 32.
This home, believe it or not, is a recording studio.
The next generation of radio, it's the MyMac.com podcast.
With a computer, some music mixing software, and 2 microphones.
iTunes 4.9 is now supporting podcasting.
Tim Robertson and his friend Chad Perry produce weekly podcasts for internet-savvy people around the world.
About 1.2 million people visit our site every month. And we'll talk about that in a minute.
Robertson is a pioneer web publisher.
We're pretty much considered one of the granddaddies on the internet.
His site, MyMac.com. Since December, he's offered a new weekly feature he produces with Perry.
Essentially, it's a radio broadcast that goes over the internet. That's the easiest way to explain it. Anything other than that, you kind of can lose people.
When you go on the website, you can find the MP3 files.
So clicking it will actually bring it right up into your web browser.
The next generation of radio.
You can listen to it on your computer or download it to your iPod or MP3 player.
Welcome back, Chad, after your camping trip.
Well, thank you, Tim.
If you like what you hear, you can subscribe to an RSS feed, which stands for Really Simple Syndication. Then any new podcast will automatically download to your computer, even directly to your player.
So the next time you grab your iPod in the morning and put your headphones on, you have new content on your iPod ready to go.
He can even attach a photo file to it. This was a podcast about his daughter fishing a week ago. Robertson says this all started with a former MTV VJ.
Adam Curry is considered the podfather.
Robertson says Curry created the very first podcast last September. His show is one of the most popular podcasts out there. More pop up every day. More listeners do too.
We've got this email, and it's somebody in London telling us about how he was listening to the podcast while he was riding the Tube, which is the subway in London. And I thought, how small is the world that Chad and I can sit here in front of our computer and record this, and the next day someone in London is commenting on what we were talking about.
It's a technology catching on fast.
That's our news for today.
With a pace setter in West Michigan.
In just a minute, we're going to have
8,000 to 10,000 people download that podcast every week. It's so cool. And Tim Robertson says if you're interested in checking out the site, all you have to do is head to his website, and we've linked it to ours, WWMT.com. You can check it out.
Very interesting. All right, thanks, Alicia.
Podfather. Yeah. The Tigers and the White Sox play in Detroit. Sports is next.